Hoo-wee. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to this episode of Product Like It's Friday. And we're going to do something a little different than what we've been doing the last little while. And I'll let Mary describe.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess nice intro. I guess one of the things we've talked about in the past is like playing some of the games that we've used as inspiration for different components of both the experience, but also like how the game works itself. And we've been, I think we've talked about it a couple times, but we were always like, we have no friends.
Yes.
So hopefully, we have friends who are actually going to join.
We've been slowly collecting friends over the last
We're
month.
collecting friends.
Just like in a little basket.
Yeah.
But it is a good point where, sometimes when we're building something, we're so invested in like the design and the pixels and the layouts and the code and the refactorings and what have you, where it's easy to lose track of the purpose and the goal. One of the things, we could have done is obviously taken what we've built so far and even tried it in a certain environment, which I think we should do. We're very close to doing that for sure. But there's also something to be said for experiencing similar products, and that might just spur up ideas and notions. I know that I haven't played one of these games in a long time, many months, even years maybe. So I think this would be a good time for us to kind of take a slight step back and actually, play instead of being work all the time.
Yeah, it's Friday.
it is.
Where's my
It
pizza
is
party?
Friday. It is Friday after all. Yes. Okay. There is obviously some production and setup work we have to do. We have not invited people to the stream before, so this will be the first time that will happen. So obviously, not obviously, but maybe there might be some hiccups, some setup time, and so on. But maybe maybe a little bit more detail into Mary exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah. So there's a couple games that I have in mind. I'm actually opening one of them up right now, and it's like really loud, and I'm trying to reduce the volume. Okay, I got it. So we got a couple, I guess, couple ideas in mind. One is Drawful. Drawful is a. Actually, I can just quickly share my screen while we wait, just to get a sense of like how it works. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so this is Drawful. Apparently, you can make your own, which I don't really know what that means. I'm just gonna click on it because I'm curious. Oh, so you can make your own, like, I guess, things to draw. So I guess I can
You
like write.
you
Draw
haven't
a
played this
ton.
before?
I have only played like the regular game, and I have
Got
not
it.
done it in a long time.
Okay.
Um,
It's interesting how this game is not like a web-based game entirely, but at least it's nice that people can go to Jackbox TV and join the game. That's nice.
yeah, I think the recommendation is to use a phone because you're gonna draw, and I don't know about you, but I do not feel comfortable drawing with my mouse. And yeah, I think all you need to do is just join with the room code. I'm not gonna do that right now. I just want to share the other games that I have in mind, and we can decide which one to go with first. Replace. Just open up. So there are two browser-based games that we've talked about in a previous stream as some inspiration of both, I think, like the brand and the UI and pieces of the I guess the user experience as well. So this one is Gartic Phone. This is one that I've played quite a few times at work. It's a little confusing in the like OG, I guess the homepage, because I'm like, what is happening here? What am I supposed to do here? because my inclination when I join a new game is not to read. I hate reading. Okay, that's not true. I hate reading instructions. So this game, I think. Of course. Can you hear this? No? Okay.
I can't hear the sound. I think there's probably a special selection you have to make as you're sharing your screen that allows you to share your sound.
Okay. I guess that is something good to figure out. I'm not seeing the option in the source.
When you at the bottom, when you share, so if you unshare and when you reshare, when you're sharing at the bottom of that screen, it says share audio tab, share tab audio as well.
Oh, okay. I have that checked though.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well then I have no.
I mean, is there sound here even? Let's see.
Is the sound necessary?
Can you hear it?
I cannot.
I mean, the sound is not very necessary, but I think it was kind of interesting because we talked a little bit about sound design as a component of the experience.
I did just hear some sounds like doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo.
Yeah.
Was that from you?
Yeah, this is for me.
Okay, then I can hear now.
Okay,
then I can hear now.
I guess I was not sharing the right tab. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can hear the tick, tick, tick. I just heard that. Okay, cool. That is working. I have a quick update. One of my so-called friends has decided not to join because when I did the invite, I specified that this was a stream, but then I think it really hit her that it was a stream, and she's a coward. So what can I say?
You will have to send this clip to her.
I will. And so, once that realization fully hit, like when I sent the invite link and I sent some extra details on the invite link. I said, hey, we're going to ask you to introduce yourself, so forth, so on. And then at that moment, just okay. So I don't know whether my other so-called friends might also follow the same path.
We'll see.
It'll be curious. And so
we'll see how many cowards we have today.
That's right. I mean, we already have 2 here. We have 2 cowards on stream. But let's see how many, whether like there's a conference of cowards, we can call it. When I was a few jobs ago, there was a friend I had, and we had a good rapport at work, but I found both me and him to be fairly timid men. And I felt like, we could be in the league of timid men. Like there should be like a league of timid men, and we'd be part of that league. It's just who we are. It's us.
Like, why do you have to define yourself as timid? Like, what does that look like?
What are
the characteristics?
I'm Googling it right now. I'm asking ChatGPT to give me some It says you're showing a lack of courage or confidence, easily frightened. But timid is also a feeling in my heart, you know? Someone who shows a lack of courage or confidence and is easily frightened.
Are you easily frightened?
I'm scared of nearly everything. This is true.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm facetious a lot in the things that I say. Obviously, like kind of just off the line or off the cuff. But no, in earnest, I'm generally very like not very. I'm generally scared. Like the other day, I was passing by. There's a bar in Toronto near the Inner Center called the Imperial Pub, and apparently they're upstairs. And I haven't been there since I want to say 2015, 16, right? So 10 years almost. And I walked by it and I was like, because they have a back room where people kind of do presentations or like events or what have you, and then they have an upstairs where there's like bookshelves and stuff. So maybe the upstairs, I went there maybe 15, 20 years ago. The back room, I was there about 10 years ago. I was like, I should go walk. But I felt, I don't know. I have this hesitation of just walking into places when I'm alone. And so, yeah, absolutely. I have this, I just hesitate. Like, I didn't do it. So that's why I'm in the league. Because I'm a card holding member of the League of Timid Men, Gentlemen.
This feels like this feels like a pin material. You know how like I said I collect pins, like just something that you can wear.
Well, hold on.
Or
like, oh, you mean like, yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, absolutely. Where are your friends, Mary? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, hey, Mary said she had friends, and
we'll see. Let's see. My friend says in 5 minutes, 4 minutes ago. So.
Wow. This is. Do they know this is live? Do they know that we're? You know. I'm just kidding. This is sort of.
I think.
part. This is the first time we're doing this kind of a thing. Obviously, you know, in the future, it's if we ever do it, we have to like.
Yeah,
you know, we should know that people are liars when they say I'll be there in 5 minutes. They're still like they're on the toilet. You know, they're like they're not ready. They're not ready. They're they're in their cars. They're like texting and driving. They're like, I'll be there, and they're not.
That's where they are.
They're not.
Just
so
driving home.
We have to be far more prepared than we were.
Yeah. Do you usually, like, when you say you're gonna be there for a meeting, are you usually the one that shows up first or the one that's late?
I mean, when I was younger, like in high school and university, I used to be terrible at being on time. It was like one of the worst. Like it was just so bad. I was like, the concept of time wasn't as clear. But I think once I started working, and there was this like much more immense pressure about being on time at a meeting. I've been very good since then, where it's like, even when I'm out to meet friends and I when I leave, I'm like, I'll the moment I step out of my house, I'll send them a text saying my ETA is just around this, so that they know, and if there's any delays or whatever. So I've become better at that over time. Are you?
I'm regressing. Like I used to be the one that's like always on time. Now I'm starting to like I don't know what's going on, but I'm starting to be like late to things, and I feel terrible. So like when I
it's because you feel terrible because you're a bad human being. That's why.
Yeah, I should feel terrible.
Like you say, I feel terrible as if it's something that shouldn't happen, but that seems like the right thing. But one of the hacks is if you have your meetings in Google Calendar. This works for work. You use Slack and Google Meet, and you install the Google Calendar. Sorry, if you use Google Calendar, not Google Meet. If you use Google Calendar and then use Slack, if you add the Google Calendar plugin into Slack, it will ping you like a minute before the meeting starts. And so for me, I'm like, I got the ping. Let me join now. So usually I'm like a minute early to every meeting now because I simply just You know, I'm pin based now.
We have one friend.
We have one friend. We were
We
able.
have one friend.
Okay, one six.
Should we add her? Should we add her?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and let's. I had asked you to write glowing introductions for your
Oh
friends.
man.
I'm not sure if you did that. But yeah. I mean,
We'll
let's do
see.
this.
We'll
Let's
see.
hear. Let's see what you did.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
So this is Maria. She is a friend that I have from my last job. She is a product manager. So Adnan and I have been building a product over the last month or so. Oh, we have another friend.
We're just. This is it. You know, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah. And today we are here to play some games because the product we're building is kind of a game. It's like an education related game. So this is going to be both fun and educational in that we're going to learn some patterns or not. We might not learn anything, but we'll see. Should we bring the other friend?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do this.
I wonder how the layout is going to be like.
I think it should be 4 slices of people. Oh,
There we go.
oh, very nice.
Hi,
Hello.
what's up, friends?
Are you gonna do the introduction, Adnan?
No, I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna push. I had guys. I'm sorry, Kareem and Maria. Is that how you pronounce your name, Maria?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Everything
Well, you
works.
said yeah, sure. That's not very confident. How do you? I say my name. When I say my name, I sounded like Adnan. How do you say your name?
Like at home, it's Maria. But
Maria. Okay.
everywhere else, it's the way you said it. So
Got,
yeah.
got it, Maria. I will try my best, even as I might falter. So, like I said, I'd asked Mary to write glowing introductions for the both of you, and even though she loves homework, it seems like she didn't do it. So, if you don't mind, if you can take over, if you can help Mary out, and maybe take over some of that responsibility and introduce yourselves. We'll start with Maria, since you joined first.
Introduce myself.
Yeah, and feel free to share as much or as little as you would like.
Okay. So I'm in Waterloo. I guess that we can start with that. And Mary and I work together. We don't work together anymore. So sad, but it is what it is. And I just enjoy watching like very dark series. Yeah, I will share that. Okay.
Can you name one series?
Oof. And like it's like kind of like depressing stuff, you know. Like there's one called Chernobyl on HBO.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right, noted. And Kareem.
Yeah, my name is Kareem. I'm here because Mary and Adnan WhatsApped me and asked me to come play games, and now I'm here introducing myself. So this is not what I was promised, but I'm going with
Wait,
it.
you thought you were just gonna come in here not introduce
No,
yourself?
I'm playing. But I also used to work with Adnan and Mary in a past life, and we're friends still sometimes.
And, well, thank you
this one
for
of the
performing.
times?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for performing. A little bit of friendship today, but hopefully we have you folks back just to actually talk product versus playing games sometime in the future. But I'll kind of pass it off to Mary to take us into the gaming process, and we can begin.
Yeah. I think let's start with Drawful. Has anyone played Drawful before?
No.
Oh, okay. It can be inappropriate. So we'll see.
Does it have to be inappropriate,
basis.
or it can be inappropriate?
I think it can be okay. So how I have turned on family friendly.
Okay, yeah.
But as you see at the bottom, it says we can't control the players. So just conduct yourself appropriately.
This is being live streamed. Just as a reminder, this is being live streamed, and will live on YouTube probably longer than we will live on. So just letting you know.
I mean, I've done my part by checking this box.
right.
So
I should have put a fake name.
And a fake face and a mask, maybe.
all right, should we get started? So I
Yeah, let's
think
go.
How it works is you're gonna use your phone to go to jackbox.tv
Or your computer, or your iPad.
or your computer.
Oh, I think I might have played this before.
It's a party game, which means
Oh,
I have played it, but a very long time ago because I have not been to a party for a long time.
Wait, how are you guys joining? Like, is there a link or something?
So you go to jackbox.tv and you enter this room code that you're seeing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And because Kareem, you have the fast finger, you are the VIP,
Oh,
which I
nice.
think means you have to say everybody's in once everybody's in.
okay.
It's telling me right now to sit back and relax.
Did you already draw a picture of yourself?
I did draw a picture of myself. I thought that's an interesting feature right off the bat. But I guess the game is called Drawful.
Interesting nose, Adnan.
Oh, you could see already?
Yeah,
Oh, we can see
it's on
it.
the
Okay.
computer screen.
I can only see what I see because I think
It's
you
on
might be
Mary's
like
screen. No, it's on Mary's.
Oh,
screen.
sorry,
It's on
I
the
missed.
screen.
I wasn't even looking.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Okay, we're all.
Everybody's in?
I think you have
Yeah.
a prettier nose than what you've depicted.
Wow. First of all, thank you, and second of all, I can't. I'm not an artist. I don't know how to make noses.
Looks scary. It's a very it's like a scarecrow nose.
Also, I feel like I melded my nose and beard
Hmm.
as well a little bit. I think my nose and mouth and beard just melded a little bit, just like in real life. So I feel like it's a pretty good depiction. How dare you?
I mean,
What
I
happens
like this
next?
game already. I think Kareem.
Oh,
you
okay.
can
Is
go to-
everybody in? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's a weird feature, and I'm just gonna comment on like the experience as
It
we
is a
go.
weird
Just
feature.
where I thought because you shared the link, it's central to you, Mary. I assume that you would start the game. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, I thought you can go either way. Oh, can you hear the sound?
No.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. We might have to restart. Sorry, guys.
What?
So I think I turned down the volume because
Oh no, this is not even a game feature. Oh, I see. Now I have to draw my nose again?
Can you hear the sound now?
No.
Yeah.
No? Yes? No?
Wait, is it music or is it
Yeah,
noises?
there's music.
Oh, then no.
Oh, you can't hear the music?
No.
No.
Okay, I think that might be. Hold on.
How would you draw my nose, Kareem? That's what I want to know. So I want you later to send me.
I can't draw. I can just
A
tell you
drawing of me.
if it's good or bad.
Oh
You
wow.
know
Okay.
what?
Hmm.
I will explain the game.
You're gonna just
I will
Make the
attempt to
noises?
Explain the game.
you're gonna okay. All right.
We'll see. Because I don't know why, like when I share not a browser window, it doesn't give me the option to share the audio, which really sucks. It's good to know though.
I guess it only allows you to share tabs,
Yeah.
audio, and maybe not the browser's audio. But I think it's a production note that we'll have to play around with and see in the future.
You're trying really hard, Adnan. I can tell.
You know what? I
Oh wow, that is better. That is better.
I'm heavily seeking your approval. You know? I feel like I disappointed you. And all right, who has to let us in?
I think Maria,
Um.
you have to click on everybody's thing.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
You would think that this is like feedback they've gotten about the product, right? Over time, because
What's
literally we played this game 2 times, and both times we had to.
So you are gonna get a prompt on your screen, and you're just drawing it as much as well as you could, and then later we're gonna like give the thing you drew captions.
This is a ridiculous prompt.
Yeah, it's a weird prompt for sure.
Let's try it.
They're all ridiculous. I think that's the.
Oh, this is interesting. Because of the way the stream is aligned, I might be able to organize our. I'm guessing this is Kareem, so I can just actually change where people are placed.
Ooh. That's
Are we gonna play your game after this?
We can actually. I wasn't thinking about it, but we absolutely can. Yeah.
I thought that's what this. I thought that was my expectation.
I'm sorry. We didn't. We weren't as clear as maybe we could be.
Don't apologize. No, I thought this was going to be like play this game, see the defects, now play our game, kind of compare.
Oh wow. No. We weren't. I had not had that intention. Okay. Who's green? Who are we waiting for?
It's me.
Okay.
I was just gonna say that like this is.
Oops, sorry.
Like progress indication that is kind of neat.
Yeah.
To observe, just relating to what we're building. But it's interesting that there is no like specific number for like how much time you have.
Wait, why are you? What determines progress?
It's like how much time you have to draw.
Oh.
So that's the pencil is like the progress bar, and this is the progress bar I really liked. So this one does have like a timer.
And the timer is what, a cat's paw that's going through these numbers?
I don't like this timer.
Oh, okay.
Wait, why? Tell me.
It wasn't obvious to me what it was, right? I feel like this is the recurring theme in this game is that I don't know what's going on.
So now we're trying to guess what's the real title.
Oh, okay, I see.
Damn.
All right. Thank you.
Who said cookies?
Nice.
Did somebody say cookies?
No, it's the real title.
Okay, so I'm a bit confused as to what the rules of the game are, and hopefully the screen doesn't move forward, and maybe the screen does move forward, and it's too late now. Okay, so we just play the game, and now we just guess. Got it.
Yeah.
I think I understand the game now.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we have an audience.
I'm not sure why I got 1,000 points. That's what I wanted to ask.
Like if somebody guesses, like if the caption you wrote, like somebody else guessed, then you would get points. It's like you're trying to fool other people to think your caption is the real one.
And this like paw thing is part of the design, I assume? Like that's not a drawing. Okay.
That's interesting. Okay. So one of these is real.
And we're trying to guess which one is real. But if we guess somebody else's caption, that person will get points.
What is it?
Sorry. Okay.
What is this award bonus likes? What does that mean?
It's I don't know. I think if you really like somebody else's caption, then you can nice.
I did
This
award
means I fooled
somebody.
you.
I did award somebody when it was my turn. When it was my thing, I did award somebody a bonus like.
Yeah, you get a little like on the.
This is RoboCop's birthday?
Wait, so why did I get 1,000 points? Nobody guessed RoboCop's birthday.
Didn't somebody?
I don't know.
No, no one did.
No one did. This is going a little too fast.
This
And there's
is
no,
this
like,
is
pause.
wonderful.
There's no pause. I feel like we need pause.
Okay. You know, I
What
think in
is
our
this?
game we'll discover similar things about pausing because we haven't played it and we're just building it.
Yeah. Wait, what the heck is this?
What the heck is this? Sounds right for the entire game.
It's okay. I think like this is one of those games that I'm like, oh, I really suck at this, but nobody is good at it.
Oh, you can award bonus likes to any amount of answers.
Ha!
Oh, that's too late.
That wasn't obvious. Huh.
Eating a butterfly. Which Adnan guessed.
Oh, we got a chat.
Oh no.
Somebody says Adnan check Slack.
Okay, that's somebody from work. It's got to be.
I like how on my screen it says, oh, you can't see, but it says you drew this. This is your design.
Folks, I do have to jump off for a bit. You guys keep continuing without me. I will be back.
Somebody has a day job to attend to.
I can't believe. Wait, how do we know how many people are watching?
It's on the top left corner of the stream interface. So there's like 5 people watching right now.
Oh, I don't
there's
think I
somebody
can
else
see
here.
it.
We have a new friend who I don't know. So I guess, like, should we?
Someone tell us. Someone tell us now that Joshua says to check Slack. Check. Oh, I forgot to play.
I feel like I need to be taking notes on how there is a lack of pausing.
I'm actually shocked at how difficult this game is to understand. But
How's your week, both of you?
Glad you asked.
Any plans on this Friday?
Nothing too serious.
Oh, I know your plans this weekend.
I'm just gonna sleep and watch Peaky Blinders. I'm really tired.
Peaky Blinders. It's on my list. What season are you on?
5.
Okay.
I think it's my favorite show of all time now at this point.
Nice.
Really?
Very good show. I have no idea what I just drew, but
Are you drawing with like a pencil and thing where you're super focused on whatever you're drawing with? So.
my prompt, you're gonna see my prompt was ridiculous.
I already forgot my prompt. Oh, we have to wait for the timer to run out. That's also a flaw. Like you can't just drop out, or like, you just have to wait here.
Yeah.
I like, you can't hear the sound, but there's like somebody that's going ding, 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 warning, warning. 3, 2, 1.
Oh wow.
So if somebody does not enter something, I think there's like what's called a decoy caption, which is just AI generated something.
Socialism.
That's probably the decoy. I'm gonna guess.
Oh, I think I know what it is. This is.
Yeah, good job, Maria.
There you go, Adnan. That's what you get for doing your job. Loser.
What is happening?
What is this?
What?
Honestly, I think you'll forgive me when you see the title, or maybe you won't. I don't know. I didn't even know what it was. I still don't know what it is. I think I'm more confused even after drawing it than I was before.
Okay. Yeah. I think I know what this one is.
I think you still might not know. But I like this. Let me search it up.
Oh my god. What the heck?
There we go. All right.
No, that wasn't it.
That was me.
It wasn't this either. Decoy.
Oh no. I thought it must be something super confusing.
Like, what's a bad shadow puppet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. And I don't know why you have like 2 puddles at the bottom of it.
Because that's a shadow. I wanted to do like a puppet, and then there's a shadow. I don't know. I originally drew a human, but then I was like, oh, it's gonna look really bad, like a human. I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I think I know this. This is very good.
Are you both using your computer or?
No, I'm using my phone.
Just need to make a note about pausing and dropping out slash pausing. Canadian elections, pesos.
Oh, you did it in green. Oh, I should have said Canadian money.
Canadian money. Okay.
Woo!
Good job.
What? It's just it was green.
Nice. And that's it. That's the game.
All right.
Oh, and you get like special rewards for being liked. 'Cause
Oh.
people pleasing is a part of this game. Cool. All right, let's try something else. Oh, I am kind of curious about this, like, credits.
Director, lead engineer.
Okay, let me replace screen sharing. So these are some more browser-based games. Also, if you need to leave, totally understand. So there's Scribble, which have either of you played?
No.
Mary, have we played this? I feel like I
Yes.
Okay,
I
there
think
we
we have.
I only play those games like in work settings, which is interesting. So
Okay, so I think what I need to do here as a host is to create a private room. But before I do that, I guess we can look at the how to play carousel. That's kind of hard to see. So how to play, when it's your turn, choose a word you want to draw. So I think you will get 3 different words. And then you try to draw it. No spelling. And then other players are trying to guess your drawn word. When it's not your turn, you're the one doing the guessing. You're just typing it in. It's like a chat on the right-hand side. And that's it.
Okay, like this seems like the same game, but a lot simpler.
I think it is. And I still don't think there is pause, which is an interesting observation I never thought about. But like, I like that you can select how many players there are. And I also like that you can like choose how much time to give. So if you want it to be more chill, you can have longer time. I don't know what that is. Word count. I think this is like how many words you want to choose between. Anyway, I have copied the link. Okay, how do I share it with you guys? Can you guys see on the Restream platform, there's a private chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. I have worked before with Mary at a previous job, and I've also worked with Brain.
Welcome.
How did your coworkers find the stream?
They know about it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I have to tell people, you know, like especially for in case of incidents such as these.
It's funny. I like how they're like, this is where we can find Adnan. We got a comment from Faisal, who wants to play?
Okay, I mean that's up to you, Mary. Really.
Why is it up to me?
Well, how did the last game go? Do you folks want to fill me in on like some of that
Yeah.
experience of playing that game, or are we not there? So I just jumped in and I'm not sure what's happening right now.
Yeah. We have more comments. Oh, I think we have another friend.
We do have another friend. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
We thought we had no friends.
I didn't, I sent the link out to many friends, and a lot of them said no after saying yes. So I wasn't sure who would eventually join us.
Okay, so can you guys see the link in the private chat?
Yep.
And we should introduce our new friend.
Yes, I was going to ask her to introduce herself. Vinova, if you would please introduce yourself as much or as little as you would like.
Wait, no.
That's a great introduction.
Wait, I'm an observer. I was just looking at the drawings. How am I a person on this right now? How did this happen?
Well, that's what when I maybe this is my fault. I feel I take full responsibility here. When I said join my stream, I thought it was implied that it was the stream.
Oh, I thought I was going to observe. I thought I was going to observe math. Like
Okay, and then when you said I want to play,
I don't know what I meant.
okay, all right. So at least we know. Okay, so I feel like this is now a shared responsibility and not all my fault.
Oh no.
It's not too late for you to change your mind and do something else.
Okay. How do you play?
Wait, hold on. Who did that? I need to know. I need to know if, like, Mary, did you kick her out?
I mean, I hid the toggle.
Oh, you hit the
Like,
toggle.
she's still here.
So you kicked her out while she was talking?
She said, "How do I hide?"
But
She said, "How do I play?"
Wait, really?
Yeah, she said, "How do I play?"
No. I thought she said, "How do I hide it?"
Honestly, it would have been a lot funnier if she left.
Okay, should I
right after
add? Yeah.
and
let's
wasn't.
ask.
Okay, all right. Well, I feel like I'm also learning about kind of the streaming planning. You can't just invite people and expect things to just work,
To happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened in the last game, the drawful one? We cannot pause. It was really weird when you had to drop, because we just had to wait for your, I guess, time to run out.
Okay. That's super. So there's no controls as like a facilitator. One, lack of clarity on who the facilitator is. I would have assumed that it would be the central person hosting the game and sharing their screen. And then B, there's no ability to modify things. Got it.
Yeah.
I think by round 4, I only had about a 70% understand, maybe not even, maybe a 60% understanding by round 4 on how the scoring worked.
The scoring.
It was so quick. But you think that's our fault because we did not read the instructions? Or you think the game should be that clear that when you join, you should know what's happening?
I don't think, no, it's a game. Like, unless we're playing like a serious 3-hour game, my expectation is that I don't need to read instructions to understand it. And if I do, I'm going to do delete the game and never play it again. You're going to force me to do work to have fun? Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the game does have audio, which unfortunately could not be streamed. And the audio, there was like a narrator that's technically talking. about the rules, but it's not ideal.
Felt like that game where it's like there's no rules, you just have to figure it out as you go, sort of situation.
Yeah,
There's actually
I
a
feel like-
game like that. I just don't know the name.
Well, if you think of it.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
What's happening now? On Scribble, like what are we doing now?
Well, let's try Scribblio, which is a web browser based game. And I think you can just join. I'm just gonna copy the link again. And Vinova, if you would like to join but don't want to be on stream, that is also okay, but we may guess your intentions.
So I click this link.
And I think you have to
Okay.
give yourself a name. And
So then after this, we're going to play our Math B game.
let's do it.
I would love to do that.
Okay. It's still work in progress, and I'll probably have to do a little bit of setup, but it shouldn't be too bad.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Oh, Adnan's friend is in the game.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's interesting because that's her legal name. Miss Friend, we call her.
And to guess, you just type your guess on the right hand side.
Oh my god.
Can you guess multiple times?
Yes. And people will see your
I did not
guesses.
know what was. I'm drawing right now, and okay, you can see my drawing as I do it live. This is
Yes.
intense. Oh my! There's no way anyone's guessing this. Hold on. Do I have a time limit? Okay, I see the
Yes.
time now. Okay. Oh my god, this is not gonna.
And there's like hints that show up.
Oh.
What's going on?
What's happening?
You guys, there's no way you're gonna. I don't get it, so no, you're not gonna get it. This is great, by the way. I did not know this would be live. That came as a surprise to me. Okay, I see 2 letters. What's happening? You
Oh,
folks
I
are
think
just
it's
typing
giving
in
us-
letters?
This the
Is it giving
hint,
us
yeah.
hints?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. So as time goes on, it's giving you hints.
This game is way better. See? We already figured it out.
I don't get it.
What's the
Like,
word?
What is this?
I hear sounds in this game now.
Yes.
Same.
Oh.
Sorry, it was so hard to start, and so I started drawing a person, and then I got really nervous that it was live.
And if you notice the little number, it means like how many characters there are.
Ooh, all right.
Okay,
Whoa.
so we get clues every what? Every. This look a submarine. It's a
What was
submarine.
the answer?
It's
Oh,
gotta
you
be
have to keep
submarine.
guessing. Yeah, just like type it in so you can get the points.
I thought it said.
Oh, you have to
read
type it in. You don't. If you say it out loud, it doesn't count.
Oh,
Okay, got it.
I thought it was like
If
you
you say-
already guessed it, so now no one else
Yeah.
can guess it because it was one of the answers you already typed, but it hides it.
Yeah, it hides the
Got
correct
it. Got
guesses.
it. Got it. Okay.
This is a better game than the last one. Ooh, 3 character.
Look at us go. These are all the 3-letter words we know. What is it?
What the
Is this a
heck?
loaf of bread? What is this? Is it an angry worm? What's happening?
I don't know how to draw this.
we can see that. You've broadcast that to the world.
Wait,
Ooh,
Oh.
I shouldn't.
Friend, guess
Yo, your friend's good.
Based on you?
Okay, guys, when it's my turn, do not look at the stream because you will see
Cup?
the word.
That's not a cup. How did you guess this from what you see here? Just remind me never to be in a situation where my life depends on Kareem drawing a picture. Just
It was a nut.
a nut.
That's not bad.
That's nuts.
This one's really tricky to draw. Okay, 1 second. I think I have to start doing other things. There's people.
Wow. Mr. Fantastic? Because that guy's arm is like that's not, this is the Fantastic Four. You're gonna draw a rock man.
Damn. Okay.
NG.
I'm so sorry.
Sure, you know how many words there, how many letters there are in this word, right?
Oh, sorry, I didn't even notice that.
And NG, it's telling you how
Yeah.
many. So 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a mango always here.
Oh,
wow.
no one's out. Yeah, right. Okay.
Wow.
You actually did well.
I have a lot of feedback, but
Yeah.
Look
I
how
did
much
not do
better
well.
this game is. This is like the best game. Like time's flying now.
Hmm.
This might be one of my new favorite games.
Would
Oh,
you say
what?
you're having fun?
What?
Thumbs up.
Oh. Yeah. I was having so much fun. I forgot to guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I have to do this now? Okay. This is going to be cheating, but I'm going to cheat.
No, don't. Wow. Got it. Yeah.
Sorry. I know it's such a, if you don't know me, it doesn't work, but I apologize. I know. I was just, otherwise I had to draw it. Sorry.
You should have tried.
Yeah, I should have. That's my fault.
You've seen it many times.
My
I'm sure.
fault. I cheated. I feel bad for cheating.
Dislike.
What's happening now? Oh, we just have to wait? Oh, dislike. You could dislike the drawing?
Guys, I have to
feel
go.
like I have such a great hit rate. Oh no. So we won't get to play our game?
But this, can you invite me back another time to play your game?
Next
Yes,
Friday?
absolutely.
Okay. Okay, see you.
All right, thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining.
That is really neat. Who's drawing? Mary? Someone?
It's Miss Friend.
Okay. You have good drawing skills. Friend.
Also, the layers. Note the layers on that fire.
Oh.
Yes, you can kick players from the game. when
Okay,
they're
so that's-
away from keyboard. That's nice.
And who has control? The US. Can anyone kick anyone?
No, I think anyone can vote to kick people out,
Wow.
but no one has control here.
Oh no, what happened? I'm sorry, that was supposed to not happen. 1 sec. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
We have this bottle. It goes like this. I'm sorry, I really suck. I am not a designer or anything of that sort. Just imagine.
Don't put pressure on the designer.
That's the point. Yeah, someone's close.
Oh. Spray paint. Oh, you're not supposed to say it out loud. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
All
because
right.
we're on.
Oh my god.
It's so easy to. This is like it's like what was that game a lot of people played post pandemic where you kill people and you have to guess who killed who?
What?
Oh, Among Us.
Among Us, yeah, because you can't just say who did it.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, guys. This is horrible. Oh my god.
Well played. It's only 4 letters though.
What the hell is
I'm sorry, guys. This is supposed to be easy, but I suck.
Oh,
Woo.
you can stop drawing now, Mary, because the answer's on the board.
Oh yes.
Oh no, it's your screen, so we can all see it.
Yeah, just don't look at it.
Oh, don't look at it. Got it. Okay. Sorry, my bad.
Have some self-control.
Now it's my turn. Okay.
Okay, I'm not a gamer. This is very obvious. Oh wait, that's yeah.
You did it. First try. I'm actually proud of myself.
That was good. I also like that in this game they give you some hints. Like when I typed games, it says games is close.
I don't know what the end like sequence is, so I tried them all, but it is not it. So
What is this?
who's drawing?
Adnan's friend. What is this?
What?
I like how there's like 3 different
There's
bananas.
so many colors.
I couldn't tell if there was like a double end.
Oh my god.
What the hell is this? Oh, I should have got that. Okay, never mind. All right, let's try this.
Hmm.
I don't even know what the difference is between what you guys are typing and what the word is, to be honest. So
See?
I'm actually ooh, someone got it. Nice, Adnan's friend.
Adnan's friend is like killing us. Look at this.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's for what we did to her earlier. This is revenge. she does not forget and she does not forgive. Aircraft. Oh, I don't even know. I feel like I don't even know words.
Just a reminder, do not look at the stream.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry, I looked. I couldn't, like the moment you said
Oh,
and now I'm gonna
Now
judge.
you know.
So I know I asked you earlier how you pronounce your name. How do you pronounce how like at home when someone's disappointed in you? How do they say your name when they're like, oh, Maria? Like, is there a
You
different
sound so
intonation?
disappointed. Oh man, this
I-
sucks.
I think it's just like the R. You just stress the R's,
Got it.
but like you roll the R's as well. Like you don't. Yeah.
Got it.
This is really bad.
This.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry. What?
Oh no.
Waffle.
I'm
I like
sorry.
waffle.
This is bad. Mm.
I need to read more. Honestly, like my lack of vocabulary is embarrassing me.
I'm surprised that somebody got it. That's a win in my book.
Somebody also looked at your
That's true.
your screen. Somebody, not gonna name names. Oh my!
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
guys. I'm sorry.
This is one of. By the way, I know, Mary, when you asked me what my favorite sweets was, I forgot. Baklava is definitely one of my favorite sweets, and I would not have known how to draw it, and I definitely would
Right?
never have gotten that from your
That's the game.
drawing either.
Nice. I do have to drop, but this was really fun. And next Friday, perhaps we can play the game that you were working on. The math.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
I'm
And
just
thank
making
you,
fun.
unnamed friend, also for joining us, who will now seek revenge.
Oh man. I feel so bad. I really thought I heard what I heard.
No, I think that's what she wanted. I think you were right.
Oh, okay. Are you saying that to make me feel better?
No, I don't care about making people feel better. Trust me,
Okay.
I'm not that guy. Okay, that was interesting. Yeah, I think one on that experience, how, I guess, yeah, just thoughts on the overall experience from you.
I took down 2 notes on my whiteboard here. I just wrote pause. Like, I think handling how to pause something is something that was lacking
Mhm.
in the first game mostly, because there's like, even though Scribble has no like pause functionality, there are natural pauses
Yeah.
when you're selecting a word or like when you're waiting for other players to finish their turn.
Mhm.
And then handling like what happens when someone needs to step away. Like, I like that Scribble has that kick functionality. Kick is a bit rude of a word, but it is accurate, I guess.
It's also fun in a sense. So I don't, it's not. I don't
Yeah.
mind it.
Yeah. Any thoughts from you? Have you played either of those games in the past? Or
I don't
something
believe I
like that?
have. I don't believe I have. I definitely found. What was the name of the first game we played?
Drawful.
Drawful, right. I found it confusing to naturally understand the progression of the game and the scoring of the game.
Mhm.
Now, that it may be the case where like I wonder how different it would have been had we read the instructions. And is this a game that should be self-descriptive as it goes? Because there's so many different elements. Like, I didn't understand why I got any points when I drew the drawing and other people were guessing. When it began and it was my turn, when I could have liked a person's response, I thought, oh, I'm seeing this because I'm the person who drew it, and therefore I get to like apply bonus points because I know what the answer is. And then I was surprised to see the same screen when somebody else drew. I thought, oh, the moment I saw it, I assumed it was a feature for me to give points to people as the person who's drawing. So that was interesting. I did not know that there would be points for that either. I don't know how many points there would be for that, for example. So I'm wondering if like those are all communications that happen ahead of time, and yeah, I don't know.
Okay. What about the second game?
The second game, the rhythm and the pacing was, I felt, a lot better, even because I went to it not knowing any details, but it was quicker to understand. I don't know if it's the nature of the game or the number of like the noise within the game. I felt like Drawful was a bit quick and noisy because of that kind of bonus thing and all those elements happening. With Scribble, I thought Scribble's also a little bit interesting and nicer in the sense where, because these are similar games, right? You're given a prompt and you're supposed to draw. With Scribble, I liked getting 3 choices, and now I get to choose something that I can draw versus being given something that's like really difficult and then feeling extra bad for like, how am I going to do this? That was the thought, right? Whereas if you're given 3 choices, now you're responsible.
Yeah,
Like
you
you
choose your
selected it,
poison.
so you never feel like I was just given something so hard or whatever. And then obviously they're different games in terms of like the result of like guessing which one is the real title versus guessing this is more like a hangman slash, I don't want to say Scrabble, like hangman slash drawing combined, right? Where time is running out, you're seeing letters come in, you're typing letters. It wasn't immediately clear to me that I have to type the letters, so I was just yelling out the answers, right?
Giving it away.
Yeah. And I thought that was fun either way. But then it immediately becomes clear. So you're not confused after the first, because as soon as like it goes green, it becomes very clear. Yeah, Scribble was a fun game to play. The timer was not immediately evident
Yeah, it's a little subtle.
to me because I had to like find it, even though I remember us just like the moment I found the timer, I remember us discussing it and where it was. And then what else?
I like that. Let me just share my screen for a sec again. I like that when you create a room, you have options. Like as the facilitator, you can set how many players.
Yeah.
Or how many max players, I guess.
So when you shared this link, Mary, I found it confusing a little bit where, yeah, go ahead and share the link again. I'm going to try and open it on my screen and just get a sense of what's happening. So I enter my name.
You can select draw time. So if you are with a group that maybe want more time, you can say 120 seconds or even 240 seconds, which is a lot. It's like 6 minutes.
Wow. So just give me a second.
Yeah, you can select.
It just started playing an ad for me.
Oh.
Scribble. And now I can skip the ad to play. That's fine. Yeah, the ad was definitely something I noticed right away on the Scribble screen. You don't have it here, but I have an ad in the top. Oh, I guess you have an ad blocker. Maybe. But definitely for me, I had. I do have an ad in one of the corners. And then, okay. I did find it confusing that. So the screen I see.
Do you want to share?
Sure. It didn't last very long here. Oh, I can't. Let me see if I can. I can't share right now. Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. Yeah, I can share. Okay, so so that ad, the ads were super interesting. Where I guess your experiences add less, and then, yeah, the initial ad was super intrusive. When I was on the previous screen, I had to click play. Immediately, I got like a video started playing. I had to watch the video before I could proceed or skip video. I found this mildly confusing to start because it feels like I can edit it. Obviously, I can't. But by the time I joined and then I was processing what I'm seeing, the game started already.
I see.
Even though it's disabled, the fact that it's like this, and if I just came here and looked at it, I was like, oh, I have to edit. I have to set something. That was my initial response is like, oh, I have to look at the settings.
That's interesting.
Whereas if it was just visual, like without the drop down, or even if this was missing, honestly, and the checkbox was like, get rid of the, because I can't start the game. I can only invite people. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, why show
Yeah.
you something you can't do anything about?
Yeah.
Neat. What would we want to take from these experiences?
Well, I think even early on, as we were going through and building our game process, we definitely realized, with this idea of like reveal answer or lock in answer, and then getting rid of it and then bringing back reveal answer, we've already gone through cycles of like, hey, how would somebody feel at this point in the game if they had to change a path or pattern? And so, yeah, I think that's definitely interesting. What else? And I think because we haven't played the game, a lot of it is just our like sense of what may be necessary. And I feel like as soon as we play the game with people, things will emerge and reveal themselves that we probably did not consider at all. I do like how our game has a built-in kick out feature where you're just incorrect, right? So if your turn comes up and you're not there, we reveal the answer, we mark you incorrect, and you're gone, no problem. Like it's just it just happens to be part of the game. Yeah, I think those are the things that immediately come to mind. I'm sure that I'll probably have some thoughts as I process some of this. Do you have any sort of immediate takeaways?
I think one thing I know we talked about in the past as well, but it's not a part of like the traditional spelling bee, is like the idea of setting the number of rounds up front for the sake of, I guess, some sort of time setting, like expectations on like how much can you fit within a given time, versus the spelling bee, I guess, game model just kind of goes indefinitely. So I thought that was interesting in like some way of explicitly saying here are the rounds, and at the end there is some way to show a leaderboard without having to have one person remaining. I don't think it has any impact right now, but
Yeah,
definitely interested to see how that plays out in like, a classroom setting where there are constraints like
I'd be interested to see how that works out broadly as well, because my instinctual feeling is I think it's fine because you can always just end the game at any point. But the question is whether it causes any confusion going into the game as to what may happen or may not happen. Because the first time you're playing, you don't know what your exit clauses are. Wonder how important it is to know. Like when I gather a group of, let's say, 15 students and say we're going to play a math bee or spelling bee, is there already a very clear understanding of what the process is? Because this is like Scribble's not a known popular entity, and neither is Drawful, but I feel like spelling bee is like fairly ingrained, even if I've never been part of a spelling bee, but I have a general sense of what the rounds would be.
Yeah. The other thing is like it made me think about like, oh, like could there be unexpected ways our game can be used? Like I'm thinking like, oh, what if like you play a round each day, like it's like a tournament. It's like
Yeah.
day 1 you do round 1, and then day 2 you do round 2, so that you don't have to fit the whole game into one session, and what that means for how we're building it? Like maybe some way to like save, I don't know, or load.
No, that's a good point.
That's it.
Right now, just so you know, the way we've built it, it's autosave because you could just refresh or come back to the link
Okay.
and continue from where you left off. It's not always automatic, but for example, if you just stopped the game at any point and just left the page there, you can come back tomorrow and continue from there. If you know what round you left out off, so what we could do is if you go back to the game link, because there is a game link. If you go back to the game link, it'll just find which round you left at or which question you left at, and take you back exactly to the kind of proceed from here point.
That's cool. I feel like that's something that maybe in the UI somewhere, I'm not sure where,
Yeah.
we can set some sort of expectations on, of like you can come back anytime.
Yeah,
So
it's Mhm.
how would the progress be cleared? Like, is it only when the facilitator click end game?
honestly not even then, right? Just programmatically right now. Endgame is simply a representation of who's remaining. It's just a visual representation of who did not get eliminated and who did get eliminated, right? But so theoretically, just the way it's coded, like there's no special action concurrently happening to end the game. If you press like the back button,
I see.
you could theoretically just continue with the
Just keep
rounds.
going. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So there isn't like a strict idea of an end at this point in time.
Okay. I think that's fine. Because like, what if you accidentally click it and you're like, oh,
Yeah, it's
actually-
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, accent, and then I guess we could pop up. I think you brought this up before, popping up like, "Are you sure's?" Before sort of any potentially destructive action happens.
But it's not destructive, so we don't need to do that.
Yeah, it happens not to be destructive because it's just a purely visual representation of where the game is at that point in time.
Okay, cool. How do you feel about the timer? Because I think Scribble definitely reminded me of like the fact that we talked about sound design and we haven't really touched that. And I like the sound design of the timer specifically because like the visual timer on Scribble is so subtle, but because of the sound, like for the first, I don't actually know how long, like 50 seconds maybe, you just kind of forget that it's there because you're not in a rush anyway.
Mhm.
And then once there's like the final countdown, then you hear the TikTok
Yeah.
to like hurry up. So I kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm down to play with sounds based on timer, based on correct and incorrect as well. So like the idea of animation and in sound design, I feel like is something that we can focus on next. I mean, definitely if you want to get a head start on it, especially given I've already given you homework, first of all, and B, yeah, definitely if you want to start thinking about the sound design. For me, I think that's probably the next thing we can do after wrapping up the questions part of the code.
That sounds good. Are you interested in continuing to do some questions, or are you feeling like
Right now, yeah, I can do that. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let me just
not
get.
sure if you're gonna like get back into the productive mode.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's just it's always just code. So I do need to get a few things set up on my end, which will take about just a couple of minutes. I have one too many windows open here. Okay, yeah, because okay, and then
How's your week?
decent, good. I mean, nothing too exciting and nothing too destructive, apart from this one hiccup of having to leave the stream midstream. First time that's actually happened, actually. So I think that's not too bad. Okay, I need to close this. I have all these like game windows open from Scribble and all that now as well. Okay. I'm on a different computer than the one I was on before. I might actually need to restart. Let me just double check here. Yeah, I think I need to restart my Chrome. So give me 1 second here.
No problem. I will just talk to myself for a bit. I would not even know where to start for sound design. So I'm just doing some research to get some sort of starting point. And I'm pulling up my friend ChatGPT just to ask it some questions. For Honeypot, because I have given ChatGPT some context on what we're building. I'm hoping that I don't need to give it too much further context. So I'm just typing for Honeypot. I'm looking to integrate some sound designs. Oh, welcome back.
What did you talk about?
I'm just doing some research on sound design because I have never done that before.
Okay, we can probably go back to our standard representation here. And how do I, yeah. Let's bring us, I guess, here. Here's fine. Or here. This is fine too. All right, yeah, maybe we can probably get a few questions done right now, and then we can take it from there. Just bringing myself back to where we are here with the code, and we were where we were in the code the last time. Okay, and I was in the questions file. I'm also on I'm on a different computer than I usually am, so there might be a few hiccups here and there. Okay, so I have now recollected where I was. I had started this, and I wasn't sure whether we should do this question yesterday, mainly because if we stick with the intentional pattern of the question, then the answers are pretty much the same. But then if they're randomized, then the intention of the question is gone. And so I don't know if this is a question that can remain in the game, although I still feel like the exercise of going through it was not bad. For now, I am actually going to where is it? I'm just gonna take it and remove it from the game, and maybe down here have an area of like removed questions, and leave it here for now. And because what may happen is, this is how I feel right now, this is what I'm thinking right now, but what may happen in a bit is some other idea might emerge, and I don't want to necessarily lose the pattern of the question itself. So maybe we continue. So this question we said we're not going to do, again, because it is a one-time question. And then now here, what I'm thinking, and let me see if my systems are available. Yep. And I can bring this in as well. And here, a thought that crossed my mind is, instead of like doing this one by one, I could probably just take a screenshot of a bunch of these and give it to our friend. And maybe I will use no minis here straight up and say, convert to text, please.
I like how polite you are.
It's because it costs them money. Okay. Let me just confirm Beyonce's Formation World Tour sold this many seats at Citi Fields. What is the total income of these seats? Yeah, that looks good. This looks pretty good. Look at that. Like, this is pretty amazing. And then I'll get to the next ones later, but we'll just begin here. Maybe I'll just move this off to the side here. And now I can take one of the questions that we had and just call this Beyonce. And again, start with, like this is back to the grunt work. This is a grunt work. Beyonce's Formation Tour sold blank tickets. Let me just understand the question for a second. What was the total income from these seats? So it's this times this, that's it?
Yep.
Okay, so that's really good. So I can have tickets sold and then ticket cost. Oops. And I want to do this. So
We
ticket
don't
sold.
have to do this, but it could be cool to have like different artists.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we can do. Okay, so what we'll get the question working itself, and then we'll work on the idea of different artists, because I think it is a good base functionality to have in this kind of data language that we're building here. So let's do that. And both of these numbers are integers, and I'll just have to keep in mind what the ranges were. So tickets sold is an integer, and we want to sell a lot of tickets, so 1,500 to, let's say, 2,500, and the precise number is actually doesn't matter. It's just a multiplication question. And then the cost can also be an integer, let's say from 150 to 300. And now I think that's all we really need. So a fairly standard question, it seems. And the answer, I should be able to get this fairly quickly. Yep. I don't think we need to round to 2 decimal places. The reason why it's doing that is because I actually just want to return it. Return. Okay, so it is kind of adding that $ here, but I have it part of my question. I do like the to fixed, so I will keep that. And I know it's in a string, but that's fine. Let's try and run it. Oops. Yeah, so let me fix the new line, and then /text. And yeah, definitely I should close that. And let's try again. Okay, so that did not work. Oops. Okay. Why did that not work? Ticket cost? Yeah, I didn't name this ticket cost. Okay. All right. What is this turn on? Like, why can't I close this? That's annoying. Okay. But when I click the X, it has an X in the corner, but when I click the X, it doesn't actually close.
They need to fix their UI.
Yeah.
With their own AI.
With their own AI. I am getting an error here for some reason. Undefined value. Yeah, so I renamed the thing there, but here. I need to rename it here. Okay, and I think I can just start here. And that's a really large number. And the number would have been large in the question as well, so that's fine. But a few things I don't like in the display here. Actually, I do need a few things. I want to know if in LaTeX number with commas, I am human. And then maybe I can also ask AI, in KTeX, I want to display a number with commas. So I natively support displaying commas as 1,000 separators. I have the number as a variable in JS. And here, did I stump it? Did it get canceled? Got it. Okay. What if I want to display as currency? That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. But let's actually just go with to locale string here. So I will start with the $, and then here I'll say to locale string. What does it want here? I don't know if these are real things. They are. They are. I will keep it as is, and we'll see what the answer displayed at. The ENUS part is interesting because that's where we are. But there was no recommendation here, so it would probably just take the browser's setting. But for our purposes, actually, that's fine. And I have to regenerate because all the questions and answers are generated at the start of the round. No, it doesn't want to show. I'm trying to get a sense of why. It's not immediately clear to me. I did add this $. I think I have to add 2 slashes because I didn't do string.raw, but if I do string.raw, then I can do this. But then this might not work. So let me actually just do that. // I think that's it. And then here we go. Okay, that's exactly what we want. I'm happy with that. And I'm going to commit this as a Beyonce question. And then we can work on adding other artists. Okay, that should not be there. And then, so what we want is where we have a variable integer. I think I had a variable 1f, which we have here, and then AY we have here. But we never, so we did end up using it here, 1f, and it picks 1. Okay, so I'm going to have a 1f for this, but I'm going to have 1f string. And the reason I'm splitting them up and not mixing and matching, although I could, and maybe I will later, I remember running into some issues with just the text or the typing, sorry. And I don't want to run into typing issues. And so I'll just call this one of string. So it's very clear. Index value can still be number string, and then this value is going to be a string. This might also cause issues somewhere because this is the first string value that we're dealing with. And so, but I think because it's not either or, hopefully it's a bit easier. And then here we can come down and think about how we want to define the one-of string. And does AI know? Yeah, it also has some suggestions. We'll accept them. Unless you are opposed to any of these suggestions. Mary.
They're all solo female artists.
So you're okay. All right. You approve. So I need to add this type here.
I approve of this AI.
And here we go. And because the index value is null, it means a random number will be generated. Otherwise, we could also manually generate a random number and assign that index. But in this case, we only have one array like this. So, and let me take a look in the rest of the code where I'm using one-of. And here's the code. And already there are some problems. There are many problems in our code already because the value being numeric. So let's take a look. Numerator min, and because this value here can now be a string or a number or null. I'm trying to think how to handle this. Because we're getting it from a value potentially of a different variable that we had. The intention here is that the user knows to get the right value. So it shouldn't matter per se, but just, but we probably need to ensure that it's a number. So in this case, I will say number numerator min, and so that's what I probably will need to do, given that the numerator and the denominator are always integers. So that should be fine. I should be able to get away with doing something like parse int dot to string. So if this is a number, it'll get converted to string and then get parsed again. And largely, I'm doing this to maintain my typing. Okay. That looks fine. And then I'm going to have to do the same thing here. Denominator dot min, and then same thing here. And denominator dot max. So now we've gotten rid of the typing issue here. Might not be the best way, but here we are. And here the divide by value is also an integer in this case, because that's what gets, no, divide by value is a number or string. And if it is a number, that's fine. If it is a string, then it's a variable value again. And that variable value can be a number. So I'll just say parse into number. And we'll say const number here. I don't want parse int necessarily, but let me take a look at the documentation. And what I probably want here is parse float. Because this number could be not an integer. In our min-max, we've defined it to be an integer, so that works out. But here, because we're referencing another variable, it might not be clear. So this should be parse float. I tried to guide it here. I tried to guide the AI here by having this, I didn't say integer. I said number on purpose, hoping that it would pick that up, but it doesn't care. Okay, so we have that type issue addressed. I heard a click, Mary.
I was gonna ask. So I heard someone say that like when a senior developer is using AI, it feels like magic,
Mm,
and it's not the case when someone junior or even intermediate are leveraging it.
right.
How have you seen that play out in your own work and also in other people's work that you
I don't know, because I've
noticed?
actually never seen somebody code with AI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like even in
Like,
videos online, like apart from like basic, like, oh, here's what you could do, sales clips, I haven't seen like functional, like, oh, I'm gonna build this thing. And then when I tried it out for myself, so I have a few things I can tell you in here. The autocomplete you've been seeing, I've been using it as we go. I do have another kind of plugin in this IDE. And because this is a textual IDE, the interfacing isn't as great and perhaps more of a visual IDE for this kind of thing. But I have something called, so I can say code chat. And this idea of like Copilot chat, fix, docs, load, open. I don't know what all of these do because I haven't used all of them. But for example, tests will help generate tests for this code, which we might use later on, actually. Fix is, oh, there's a bug in this. So although I don't think there's a bug here, particularly apart from the typing, but maybe I can guide it. Let's see if I can say code chat fix, and I'll say there's a typing bug in this code. Please fix. Oh, I press escape instead of, sorry. Yeah, let me get that prompt back. I don't know if it took my prompt. Oh yeah, here it is. So I guess this is a default prompt that my ID is embedding in here. There's a problem in this code, and then it's tacking on my prompt.
Okay, so they're more like, are they just like shortcuts for prompts essentially? Like those
That might be the case. I haven't. The only one I've used is like the default one where I just give it my own prompt. I actually have not used the other ones. I've used test once, but I never really looked at the prompt. I used, this just once, and then I mostly just use this when I use it. And this interface here is pretty much like any other Chat GPT UI interface.
Yeah.
So, but I don't use this that often. I will use it from time to time. But yeah, I think I was speaking with a friend the other day, and I mean, he uses AI in a developer friend. He uses AI in a much more conversational manner. And maybe you've seen me, I guess, do that with like when I'm trying to figure out like the formatting of something or whatever. But I generally don't do it with the code itself. Like, oh, do this with the code, or like do this with the code and change this with the code. Probably from my earlier experiences of distrust, I'm like, why bother? But he does it. He said he'll start off with asking it for a plan, or he'll give it a plan and ask for feedback, and then get into the code and then kind of iterate on the code as well. I don't do it, and he's just my age, so he's a fairly senior developer at this point as well. But it's not my practice. So actually, to answer your broader question, I don't know how a junior or a senior developer. Maybe at work I should
Do a
observe
survey?
people. Yeah.
I mean, it's neat. Like one hot take. I don't know if it's that hot even, but one take I've heard is like, if juniors are using it too much and like using it as a crutch, then it kind of becomes a little bit more dangerous. You can't replace thinking. Like developing the thinking skills is important.
It can get tricky very quickly. Like for me, it already is becoming a crutch, even for the little things I use it for. So for example, one of the things you might have seen me doing is like, okay, I'm adding this number % around each one of these, right? And that's something I just have to do manually, super grunt work. But I do love the fact that like that autocomplete for me, like, okay, it's not the worst thing to type it out, but when it's not there, I miss it for sure.
I mean, I think that's what you can rely it for. You know, like it's
Yeah.
the stuff that you know how to do, but you
But-
just like. It's
But the trap is
boring.
now that I've not had to do it, right? Or I did it once and now the rest it fills out for me is like it's not the 100x or 1000x productivity that people talk about, but it's very nice. It's like it's really very nice actually. It could also lend to bad code because instead of refactoring it, I'm just like,
I see.
but for me, refactoring will come later anyway, if at all. So we'll see. Okay, so index value, which we know will be, so yeah, so now can be a string or a number because of this. And here, I actually know that I want parse int. Let's see if AI knows I want parse int. It does. Just because the pattern was there before. And now this issue is gone. One last one. And this pattern is fairly concrete, so it should know how to fix this. Like for me also, when I make this change, I feel like eventually I want it to tell me to change this here. You know, like, because the idea is I'm adding this extra line and storing this value in this variable so that I can replace it here. The next step I would love in this kind of AI pattern is for it to know that that was my intention and then suggest that I replace this value with the variable I just created. Things like cursor or windsurf might already do that. Definitely my plugin here doesn't. Okay, so now that I fixed the typing, we're ready to add another type. And this time, I want to say one of string. And it'll be very clear that it's a string. So we're generating a string, but the code is pretty much the same, actually. The code is actually exactly the same. I'm trying to think whether I need to have one of string anymore or whether I can just have one of. So I'm going to try it very quickly where I remove this here. What is that? Jeez. Okay. Why is that happening? Okay, that's fine. And then I'll comment this out for now. And then over here, I'll use one of, and everything should just be fine. Well, except for the fact that I need to, in my this one of, go back to how I had started it with it, which is this, and the value can now be string or number or null. And yeah, so this is fine. Let's see if there's any other errors. Did not expect this because this value is number or null. And then this value here is string or number. Why? Oh, because yeah, that I don't like. Because this is just a variable. Because this is variable. Because this will be a problem in every single step now, is I have to verify that it's a number. Okay, so let me just think very quickly. Like I'm trying to think whether I should commit to that. I'd have to do it anyway, regardless. I think this is a problem now that because any value can be, so while this particular value is string number or null, and this particular value is number or null, because it's a record of variables and not specific variables, I don't know that there's an easy way to to indicate that, apart from me just saying something like this because I know. Because I don't have to convert it necessarily. Because as a programmer, I kind of know that's the case. The other thing is that answer formula thing might take care of it for me if I ever build that out. Because here, those values will be replaced, and then all that typing work we don't have to worry about. We do have to worry about, so I'll have answer template as well, because we'll then have to have an answer formula, which will have a value. And then we will have an answer template, which will purely be the template. But then we can't do things like this. But maybe math formula can. Anyway, those are just the thoughts in my mind. None of that needs to be addressed now. I will just do as number because the intention there is fairly clear. And maybe later on I come up with a different form of doing it. Okay. So now all this to say we replace here with artist. Now I'm going to replace formation world tour because that probably belongs to Beyonce. So we'll just say a world tour. We could also have that randomized and then use an index, like a shared index amongst the two. But for now, I think I'm happy with just this. And away we go. Yeah, this one's Beyonce. They're all Beyonce. Did I save? No, Adele. It was purely random. So now it's Adele. Obviously, you know, we won't get the same question once, well, we might, but most of the time we won't get the same question one after another, so that even that lack of randomization won't be that bad. Okay, cool. I am happy with that. And so let's actually do a little bit of cleanup, because I went a few different ways of thinking, oh, this might be a problem, or maybe I want this, maybe I want that. But okay, so I don't need that type anymore, and my one-off can accommodate both string and numbers. Another thought that came to my mind is maybe at some point we can invite my friend on stream and ask him to prepare something where he shows us the way he uses sort of this conversational AI method. Okay, adding string to one-off type. Okay, what's the time? Maybe we could try one more question. Let's see. So we got Beyonce. This question seems to have an intention. It's really just adding all the numbers on top, right? Because all the denominators are the same.
Yep.
So there's probably some reduction happening here as well. So let me bring this up and go to where I'll just ask it here. Answer the top right question. So there's 2 points of functioning here. I'm not sure if this is intentional, but when I read this question and look at the answer, it seems intentional, which is this can be further simplified to this. And so if this number was something like, do you have a guess that needs to, do you have another friend that needs to introduce themselves?
Yes, this is Kelso. He is senior.
Just senior.
He is a senior dog.
Someone you've worked with before and now converted into a friend also.
He's an acquaintance that
An acquaintance.
happens to live under the same roof.
Got it. So one of the challenges with this question, and I don't know how hard or easy this challenge will be, is that I kind of want a reducible fraction as the answer. I don't want something that's like a has decimal values. So I'm just thinking how I would do that.
So it would have to be like a multiplier of the denominator.
Yeah. But the total would have to be a multiplier of the denominator. And then, but I need the parts to be dependent on that, right? So given the language that we've built here, so let's maybe start typing it out and see whether we can't feel what this might look like. Because maybe thinking about it too much is like adding fractions, I'll call it. And so I want a global denominator. And let's say min is 2, yep, and max is, maybe 10 is too much. Let's say 5. And then I want like numerator 1, numerator 2, numerator 3, numerator 4, numerator 5, numerator 6. Except I want them to add up to a multiple of denominator. And I'm thinking, how can I specify that with the templating structure that I have? And I don't have an answer immediately. So we might need to think about how we can derive it. I have an idea. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. I don't know if this will work for sure, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this case, there's also like a +2 difference, but I don't care about that for this, or like a randomized question. I don't want to keep that pattern. For the randomized question, what we can do is we can randomly generate these values, and the last value I want it to take me to is like a filler value that takes me to the derivative. And I still don't know how I'm going to do it, but I feel like that's a structure I can try and follow and see if I can code it in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the sixth one will be derived. So 5 will be generated. So numerator 1, so it knows. It knows. How does it know? Oh, because it's adding fractions. Therefore, it knew that I need a numerator 1. So here I can probably be fairly broad, although this question is supposed to be easier, where like the numbers are reducing. Actually, maybe we can follow this pattern too, where the numbers like increase as we go, because we actually have that functionality now. So I can say maybe, you know, like the initial number is 1 to 3, and then numerator 2, min can be numerator 1, and then max can be something like 6 maybe. And we'll continue sort of this way. No, I want to keep going with numerators. And here, and maybe it'll pick up that pattern moving forward now. So I know that max is 6, and maybe here I say 9. And I'll just use kind of, it'll be randomized, but it won't be, and let's see if it picks up the pattern here. Yeah, it does. And it knows to go up by 3 as well. So 5 are generated. And my last number can be small or big depending on what value is left to bring it to. And I don't know how. Okay, yeah, I do know. It needs to be divisible by let me see for inspiration purposes. Math.js again to see whether it offers other kinds of formulaic expressions. So can I say something like, so here are a variety of things. Oh no, this is just, can I actually edit that here? No, I can't. So that's fine. And evaluate, so I can maybe type something in. If I do 1 + 3 here and evaluate, okay. How do I say some of this needs to be divisible by that? I'm still struggling on how I can express that. So let's just say I have x plus, so let's say I have a few numbers, which I can actually use from the game itself. So we have, let's say 1 + 3 + 5 + 7 + 9, and the last one is 11. So plus x is equal to, let's say, and we know what the answer is. It's 36. And then maybe I need to somehow get 36 first or later. So there's no, should I have a total first? And then generate numbers? Because if I have that total first, which might make more sense. So if I could say total is derived. No. I can say denominator, min-max denominator, kind of cheating. And I can say multiply by. No, sorry, wrong again. I can say 1, 2, something, and I say multiply by denominator. No. Yes. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a sense of it because I still need 5 or 6 numbers, and I need enough to have enough for the numbers because all of them are positive, none of them are negative. So maybe I'll start off with just larger numbers here. Maybe even 15. And maybe it doesn't have to be that way, but I just don't trust myself right now. So I have a total. And I just don't have a way, as we're doing this, to ensure that these numbers won't add up to be more than the total. Like there's no easy descriptive way to do that. So it's still a trap. Because here, this would be easy, right? If I just said x is equal to total minus all these existing numbers. And that should give me 11. But I need to ensure that all these existing numbers, the sum of all these existing numbers is less than this, not just less than this. But then if that was the case, I could just say, figure out the sum of all these existing numbers should be less than this. So is there a simpler way of doing this? I have a denominator. I have a total, which is a multiple of the denominator. And it's just, we don't have a language of like not having defined variables. Like if this was like a loop variable, like it just generates an array of values, then that would have been doable. But I'm questioning whether I'm really trying as much as I can to use the existing structure and not introduce a new one. Let's see. So the sun is like wildly in my eyes right now as well. Okay, I should always probably just close the blinds.
It's very dramatic looking.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in the idea of like using the total divided by the number of numerators and like, I don't know, plus or minus a certain amount? If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. My first instinctual reaction is I still need to make sure that my plus minus on each one doesn't go over the total, which kind of lends me back, I think. But maybe there is a way. Maybe there's a simple way of using that format.
Like what if it's like the average numerator, which is total divided by denominator.
Mhm.
This might be a rabbit hole.
Yeah, but let's go down that rabbit hole.
So average numerator is total divided by denominator, and then just defining each numerator as average numerator plus or minus certain amount that even out throughout the 5.
It's that even out is the logic to, and it's not hard to implement necessarily. Like if it was just pure code, I would just do it, right? It would actually be fairly simple. But because I want to be able to express it in this format, kind of makes it challenging because, like initially when we started, like a variable was kind of an isolated entity that had no knowledge of anything outside of it. It just knew how to define itself, and it generated itself. And then we slowly added things like, oh, maybe the min should be in relation to the previous one. So now it has some knowledge. Now it has multiply. Okay. Now it has knowledge of other variables in very specific places. But now we're asking it to have knowledge across multiple variables at the same time. And we don't have a defined way of expressing that. And there's multiple aspects is that like that expression becomes more and more complicated to the point where maybe it just should be code. And if it's just code, then should all of it have been code all along? And I don't think so. I think there should be a simpler way of doing this. It's just that and it's probably something along the lines of what you're thinking, something along the lines of what I'm thinking here. But there's a small breakthrough that needs to happen to say, like that would address it. Something about needing a counter. Yeah, the whole problem is like, I can't say generate X numbers. I could cheat. Okay. This number is too high, by the way, but I kept it high because I was trying to not come below a certain point. But no. Let me just look at the question again. Also, this is a pattern. No, I like the way that we thought about it before, which is we have a denominator and the sum needs to be let's just try something. So I'm going to go with this for now, and we'll tweak these numbers. I'm going to keep this. I don't love this, but let's just see. So what we'll do is we'll actually make this derived, right? And the formula will be whatever's remaining, right? So it's kind of a combination of multiple things where I have a total. I just don't know if I can keep myself honest here. Like if this number is negative, then what am I supposed to do? But let's just see what happens. Actually, let's commit. I don't want text here. I actually want tfrac. Right? So this plus this plus this plus this plus this. And in the end, we kind of have a slash text with just an equals. Sure. Okay.
Wait, I just realized
Mhm.
that all the numerators are like odd numbers.
Mhm.
Is that something we should include?
Yeah, so I actually I did mention that earlier, where like this is a specific pattern, like +2 as well. And I said, like, for the purposes of this question, I'm actually going to ignore that, just to make it simpler. Like otherwise, I have like multiple constraints to consider. And so the heart of this question to me is that we end up with a fraction that is reducible. And this pattern happens to gain us that, but it's not to be a necessary factor, unless you feel like it makes it easier.
I think it does. I think it does because like 1 plus 3 is the same as 2 plus 2. Like I think the fact that it's odd numbers that go up.
Yes.
In the same like step size or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
that always works when. Okay, so we might be able to do that. Okay. I see what you mean. So we make the numbers go up by the numerator. And because we start with 1, so there's a few extra constraints here. We always have to start with 1.
Yeah.
We always add. Okay, we can do that. That we can do. I do want to see whether this worked. So if you'll allow me. I have an error. Yeah, okay, because I never had an answer. Yeah, come on. Let me just say, actually, it's just total. I'm just going to go through this thing, even though nope. It's kind of, the AI kind of wants it to be something that's approximate, something that has this, but it's actually not. So it's just literally random answer to string. And then here I am bound by the typing. So later on, when I uncomment all the other questions, I do have to force the typing. And then we should be able to continue here. And yeah, so the AI did this for me, unfortunately. And essentially what it's doing here is it's got these double things where there only need be one. Okay, and now I can try again. Interesting. So close. And yeah, so we get to that negative at the end there. But the rest of this is going to be the same. So I do want to fix that up. And I don't know why. Actually, I really need to review what AI is giving me much better. So it would have to be this, numerator 1. Come on, no. And then this denominator. And then, yeah. I think I can accept all of this. And at the end here, this goes away. And that's that. I don't know if this will work off the cuff. So, I mean, that template needs to be the same regardless of how we generate the values. So let's just still work. That's relevant. And it might be the case where I need to say just text. I believe this is correct. No. Denominator. Denominator. What am I doing wrong? All the numerators are being replaced. Maybe my frac definition is incorrect. Tfrac squigglies value, tfrac squigglies value. Ah, okay, I see. Yeah. The replaces need to be but I guess by default they're only replacing once, and so it needs to replace all. I'm trying to see whether that is available in the replace function or whether I need to do like a let me try and use AI hints to do that. So this is happening in the question template. That's fine. What if I said replace all occurrences of Q within the value, and then Q? It's giving me the same code. Yeah, let me just Google. Let's replace all. And you really would have thought that this was enough of a hint on what it needs to do here. But because it really is like it's looking at like what's around it, and it's not able to differentiate intention with occurrence, right? So like this is the intention, but these are the rest of the occurrences it's looking at, and I don't think it knows in its heart what to do. But I think we should be able to get away with using alls here. Whoops. And get rid of that comment. And then there are other replaces I have here that do need to follow the same pattern. So let's just see here. This one will go through all occurrences, actually, I think, because it goes through all the matches. So I think we're fine there. And now when we come back and generate, it works. Now, in this case, the answer worked, but there's no guarantee that it would have worked broadly. So let's go ahead and implement Mary's suggestion, which is that we always start with 1. And instead of this, like I should just be able to say value is 1, but I'm not there yet. So like I'd have to change code. So instead I'm just leveraging like a randomizer that randomizes 1 to 1. And then I heard a click, Mary. Is there?
I don't know if this is relevant,
Mhm.
but I came across something called cuts. as a JavaScript thing?
Cuts, C-U-T-S,
Yeah.
JavaScript thing,
Or like, what is it?
library. Is it a library?
No, I mean, I'm using AI here, so it could be just hallucination, right? But something about like random cut points to split a number into however many integers. Is that a thing? I guess not.
I don't know if, I mean, does it have code? Because I mean, I could do it in code, but the whole thing is about doing something in this format, which might still be somewhat possible somewhere. I guess I'm not quite there, but
Okay. Go back to the other thing.
but we can do what you had recommended. We always start with 1, and then this next number is derived, and the formula is numerator 1 plus denominator. So the AI is sort of picking up on that already. Right, numerator 2, and so on. And this theoretically should always lend us. So it's not as randomized as I had earlier wanted, but it does cover the spirit of the question, which is probably more important. Okay, and this last derived number is this. And the rest remains the same because the work we put in here about global replace or replace all takes care of it. We no longer have a total value, so we need to address that. So the total needs to be calculated. It's kind of annoying, but here we are. Total divided by denominator. That looks fine. And this number, I'll have to figure that out to see what that looks like, but I'm happy to generate first and then ask questions later. And so now we're always in a case. So in this case, because our denominator, see, like that's what I actually didn't want, because maybe the starting point can change to be maybe a starting point can be a derived value. But you see what I mean in terms of like what my initial intention was to have it be more randomized is now anytime the denominator is this, so we have to randomize this value, the first value. Is this even correct? Yeah, it is. Okay. And we know it's correct because AI told us. So it's not always true, is it? I thought that we would always have a case, but I guess it doesn't work for 5. Yeah, that makes sense. Whereas the other logic that we were thinking would have worked for 5, the other sort of path. I think I can see why doesn't it work for 5 and it works for the other ones? Actually, why does it even work for the other ones? I actually don't know. Oh, because of the odd even business. So we kind of got lucky. I think that pattern, it's not odd even per se, but specifically for like 1 and 3 or 2 and 3, it's sort of more internal. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, let me see.
Hello, Hinogi. Welcome back.
Oh yeah, what's oh, dip dye? Is this a comment on your hair, Mary?
I guess so. I guess
Do you
I
have a
will
new
have
dye
it.
on your hair?
I do. Have you not noticed?
I did. You know, I did. I must admit, I did not. I will not apologize for it.
That's okay.
But I will admit
Somebody noticed.
I will admit my failure. Yeah, I'm impressed actually. Uh, welcome back. And maybe you can also assist us with this issue we've been kind of moderately struggling with. But one of the reasons we are struggling with it is because I'm kind of trying to force us to use the format that we have. And this would actually be easier if I just said, screw it, and maybe tried a different way. Is this also true, Mary?
It's actually not. Like my nails are like red.
All right, 1 for 2. 1 for 2. No, it's not bad. It's not bad. I think there's more value to noticing the new dip dye than there is to
To the match. No.
Yeah, to get it in the match
Next
wrong.
time, next
I
time.
feel like it's not 1 for 2 because the first one is actually worth more. So it's maybe like 3 out of 4 more like. Okay, so I mean we could we can do this. I think I can probably live with this. I don't love it, but also I feel like I've spent a lot of time on this question. And so I want to time box it here. So what we can do is at least address the concern where it's like, hey, I don't want it to be the same answer every time. And that we can address by actually making the first value derived as well. Yes, I was going to blame the small cam image for not noticing the hair dye change. But then I noticed that, like, I realized that I don't have that excuse. I was going to use it. I was like, how do I, my brain instantly was like, how do I get myself out of this? And I couldn't do it without lying. So I did not do it at all. And so this can be a formula. And then I have a random number to begin. And this formula gets multiplied by the random number. And that's but this might not work anymore. Like, I don't know if this, because I'm not doing all the math in my head for all these questions because it's a lot of work. So I'm kind of relying on like coding it and then discovering the answers. So it works for the two. So it does. And I'm actually not, like, I'm happy with that. Doesn't bug me. Oh, and this works for this scenario as well, because now we've gotten rid of that like first starting point, but we've kind of made it too obvious, which I don't like. Because now, no, this is also incidental. So yeah, I do want to figure out an eventual way of addressing the full thing. I don't dislike where we are now, but I also don't love it. You've sent me something. Choose a denominator like 4. Choose how many fractions you want to add like 4. Pick a whole. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, so this is one of those cases, Mary, unfortunately, where like it's like when you sent me the counter, and I don't mean to discourage that. I just mean to like express kind of the differences where like AI is helping or not, or like where it's adding or not. So yes, but then I'd have to write the code in the template format to accommodate for it, which is the whole reason why I've been like, hey, is there a derived way we can get it from what we already have? But the whole problem is, it's not a problem. It might be something that I actually implement to address this question, but there was something in my gut said that we could probably accomplish this with the structure that we had. And it turns out I think my gut is wrong because there's some extra constraints of this question that I hadn't considered in the beginning. Now, if I was to do something like this, which is essentially what I would do to answer it, is, but it would have to be so specific. Like, again, the challenge is, can I make it general enough so that it's useful broadly, or do I build a variable type specifically to solve this problem? So, for example, I could say integer array. right? And I could have count, and it could be like 5. So that would be the number of values that this integer array will generate. And then we have to figure out what sort of that formulation we would give it in order to be able to do that, which would be the kind of the, and then is it like, oh, how do I make this generic? And then like, or do I just make it super specific for solving this kind of a thing? And maybe that will be the answer to this. And sorry, yeah, I know I made that comparison, but it's like, this is actually the first thing I considered in my mind, to be like, oh, how do I generate a dynamic number of numbers that have some relation? Because if it says that, oh no, am I wrong? Hold on. Let me read this through again. Because this might actually be, I might have read this and assumed that it was saying something other than it was saying. Choose a denominator like 4. Choose how many fractions you want to add like 4. So let me actually follow it through in this case. Let's go back to where I was here. Yeah, okay. So it says choose 4. So let me assume, because I can define 4 specific ones. So maybe this is not necessarily the same thing. Pick a whole number answer. Oh, maybe it is. Hold on. Okay. Pick a whole number answer you want. So pick a denominator first. Pick a whole number answer you want, like 5. Okay, I mean, no, it is. It's a lie. So it is. Because it's like the last line is like build an arithmetic sequence, which is exactly sort of the dynamic definition of like what that sequence would be. Yeah. I mean, a lot of this is very close to the attempts we've had and where we've kind of gotten bogged down. Sorry, I guess I'm not displaying on screen what Mary had sent me, but it's essentially an algorithm to accomplish what we want. But it requires additional development, and it hasn't hit me yet, even with all this kind of follow through thinking, how to make it fairly generic. But I think we're close. Like I feel like if I spent a bit more time on it, we would figure it out. But I actually don't want to at this stage, because I feel like, again, we've spent a bunch of time on this. One of the things you might want to try, Mary, is this, where if you want to like play around with sort of the nature of AI and the constraints that we're dealing with, is I'm going to push this code to give it all of this, all of the templates that we have here, and say, given that I defined questions like this, give me a template that can present this type of a question. Does that make sense? And then I think, one, we're now, either it will also struggle to say, hey, you can't do it with this, you need to add a new type, because it will figure out that there's types. And there's enough variation of types here that it will know. So it'll either suggest adding a new type, or it'll figure it out, or worse, for our level of intelligence, or worse for our egos, it will figure it out. And it'll say, yes, you dummies, you didn't see the obvious pattern that you could have fitted in using this and this and this. Or it'll suggest something impossible. But does that make sense in terms of like really giving it the
I think
true,
so, like the context of what you've done.
Yeah, the spirit of our problem. And now we're on like equal footing of like, okay, it's trying to now solve the exact same problem that we're trying to solve here. But for now, I'm going to live with this, even though I do not love it. And maybe that's a good point for us to wrap up for today as well. Yes? Or unless you want to keep on going.
No, I'm thirsty. I need to go get a beverage.
Oh, because you're thirsty? Because you want to end the stream because you're thirsty? I'm
just literally thinking out loud
okay.
how I'm feeling.
And and I'm mocking
are
out
you?
loud. And I'm mocking out
Where's
loud.
Where's your snack?
I have a banana
You don't
here.
have a s- Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
how dare you? First of all, thinking I don't have a snack, but I didn't. I forgot. I forgot to introduce it earlier in the stream.
Nice. Do you eat your snack right after the stream?
Usually, yes,
It's like a
Or-
reward.
or like sometime later, where like it's like, oh, it's here, and I'll be around here, and then I'll be like, oh, let me eat it. So sometimes it is right after, but sometimes it's also not. Yeah, I think this is a fun question to present. So in order to allow you to do that easily, actually, in this case, I will uncomment all of this. And that should give you something that can be fed to the AI. I don't want to do it because it'll be an ego hit to my problem-solving ability. I'm being earnest about it. You know what? Like that's partially why I want to try and usually avoid it, to say like I want to challenge my mind to say, oh, I'm trying to solve this problem. But I can also see the conversely your converse eagerness to use it, because on the flip side, you're like, hey, a lot of this code is not approachable to me. I want to be, or I'm just making this up. I'm making up what I think you're thinking, so you can correct me later. It's like, hey, this is not approachable to me. I'm seeing this loser struggle for like 45 minutes on this. Look, I need to make up some of it, right? So let me see if I can't use some of what's available to me to help solve it. Apart from the loser part, I feel like I got the rest pretty close, right?
Sure.
No, so no. Where did I miss?
We'll go with that.
No, where did I miss? You have to tell me. Did I miss? Am I totally wrong?
mean, I was just trying to understand what's happening.
Oh, okay. That's fair. So one thing that is not present in this code is all the typings that I need to fix, because I was like, oh, when I uncomment, I'll need to fix the typings. I'm not going to fix them. I'll commit it unfixed, so that if you want to play around with it, you can do it. And the next time I'll start, I will just comment it out again. So I was totally off. No good. But I feel somewhere that sentiment remains.
Look, I feel like I just there's a lot of times that I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm not being very helpful right now. So it's more just it's a selfish need to feel like I'm useful.
I mean, maybe not my place to, but I would suggest trying to unlearn that feeling and to be present, and to without necessarily needing to feel useful, because that's what friendship is sometimes.
This is true.
Um,
You're very wise, sir.
I can tell you from my perspective, like when I'm sitting here watching you designing, like I'll contribute what I can or ask questions, but I absolutely do not feel the need to be like, oh my God, I need to figure out the specific problem that Mary's working on, or I'm not useful, I need to help her. You know what I mean? Like that's like a secondary thing if it but it's not a need. I'm like, I'm happy to, because at one time you said, oh, maybe you don't want to join because it's like you'll just have to watch me or something, and maybe that's a waste of your time. You remember saying that? And I was like,
yeah.
no, it's not a waste of, like, what are you talking about? It's not a waste of my time at all. I'm getting to watch you work. There's always something coming in from that. So
Yes, exactly, imposter syndrome.
I feel like it's also a very subset of a very specific subset of the imposter syndrome as well, where it's like the need to be useful in a very specific set. Yeah, exactly. Okay, adding
every waking moment.
Yeah. On stream, at the very least, because that's the context we're in, right? Because it's the stream aspect does heighten it too, right? Because Otherwise, you have people asking why you're staring at the screen. So, add fractious questions. Sorry. Okay. But you should do what in your heart you feel you need to do. But I do want to offer you the thought that you have the permission to give I know this is a complicated sentence, but I want to offer you the thought that you have the permission that you give yourself, saying it's okay not to be useful necessarily. That your presence already is enough is a thought that you should consider. Okay, so I think that's where we'll end it. I'm not entirely satisfied where we netted out, because I want to capture the spirit of this question, but also make it like randomizable without having similar answers. And because we follow that pattern, it becomes all too predictable sometimes. And it turns out in the 5 case, it doesn't. So maybe next time I come back and I do have to actually add another variable type that helps address the situation that's going on. And then I do want to take a count before we say goodbye of how many questions we have remaining. So
I added some notes to the next couple.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
I feel like we're not doing the picture one, right? So
Yeah, so we'll skip that. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not a lot. And I feel like some of these are super simple.
Yeah. This one is a little bit like the one, if you scroll down just a little bit.
Mhm.
This one, yeah. This one is a little
Involved?
I think it's a pain in the butt.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, some of the pain in the butts are fun and interesting, and some of the other pain in the butts are like, because we have so many questions, and you wonder whether like we kind of have almost enough now, anyway. But I wouldn't actually mind getting a few more in, and then I'd feel great.
Do we care about the ones from the docs?
I think we can glance at it, but I feel like I feel like what we have here is enough as like a cutoff point, because then we could you could keep going down that rabbit hole. But I think even when I was saying this earlier, I was like, I would feel great. It's super personal. I was like, I would feel great if we took all these picture slides and converted them to random, because it feels like a full set, minus a few, either harder questions that we're not good enough to solve, and then the ones that add a little bit more complex logic. But that's about it. 8 questions. I think we can knock it off in the next session or next session and a half. So you might see me tomorrow. Hopefully, most likely. I'd love to continue. Yeah, we'll see you next at a random time. Thank you for joining this Friday session of or Friday episode of Product Like It's Friday. If you came late, Hinoji, what you did, you missed I would highly recommend going to watch the first half of this, which was us just playing games, other games, in order to learn from the game playing experience, because sometimes you lose touch of the experience. And I'm pretty sure the frustrations that we had in the games that we played are present in the game that we're building because we're too close to it. And I would love to bring people in to try and play this game. One, to embarrass them, because I was embarrassed many times, unable to solve these questions, and I really want to pass that feeling on. Or conversely,
longer timer.
Yeah, it's true. Or conversely, they embarrass me because they'll be like, pop, 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 pop with their answers, and I'll be like, well, here
if
we
we're
are.
bringing in younger friends, they are closer to that education, history than we are.
True. It's it's one of the downsides of being 45. What can I tell you? All right. With that, I think we're done for today. Let's go.